Many CELPIP students make the same mistake. They practice speaking every day, watch every YouTube tip, but their scores stay stuck at CLB 7. The truth is, CLB 10 plus students prepare completely differently. They don't just practice more, they practice smarter with a strategic speaking system that targets exactly what CELPIP examiners are looking for. This is the approach candidates use inside our CELPIP packages. A step-by-step system that shows you what to say first, how to connect your ideas, and how to end confidently. In this video, I'll reveal the 6 hidden reasons your CELPIP speaking score isn't improving, and exactly how to fix each one. By the end of this lesson, you'll understand why your current approach isn't working and what you need to do differently starting today. The first reason your score isn't improving is vocabulary repetition. Many test takers use the same basic words throughout their responses because they're focusing on fluency and forgetting about vocabulary range. They say, "very good," 5 times in one response. They use "I think" to start every opinion. They describe everything as nice or interesting without demonstrating any vocabulary variety. CELPIP examiners evaluate your vocabulary very carefully. They want to see that you can use a wide range of words and that you can choose precise, sophisticated alternatives instead of relying on simple, overused terms. Vocabulary range is one of the 4 main scoring criteria, which means it directly impacts your final score. For example, instead of saying "very good" repeatedly, you should demonstrate your vocabulary range by using alternatives like exceptional, remarkable, outstanding, or impressive. Instead of saying "I think" every time you express an opinion, you can vary your language with phrases like "in my view," "from my perspective," "I firmly believe that," or "it's my opinion that." These variations show the examiner that you have a broad vocabulary and can express the same idea in multiple ways. Another important point is that you should paraphrase words from the question instead of repeating them exactly. If the question asks you to describe a memorable trip, don't keep saying "memorable trip" in your response. Instead, use synonyms like unforgettable journey, remarkable experience, significant adventure, or noteworthy excursion. This paraphrasing demonstrates your lexical flexibility and shows the examiner that you have a broad vocabulary range. Finally, pay attention to collocations, words that naturally go together in English. Instead of saying "make a decision," you can say "reach a decision" or "arrive at a decision." Instead of "very important," you can say "of paramount importance" or "crucially significant." Using natural collocations makes your speaking sound more authentic and sophisticated. The second reason your score isn't improving is that you're trying to create your responses from scratch every single time. When you sit in the test and see the question, you waste valuable preparation time thinking about how to start your answer, how to organize your ideas, and how to connect your sentences smoothly. This approach creates unnecessary stress and often leads to disorganized responses that hurt your content and coherence score. High-scoring candidates don't do this. They use templates that provide ready-made sentence starters and clear frameworks for organizing their responses. Templates include advanced vocabulary, sophisticated grammar structures, and natural transitional phrases that create smooth connections between ideas. When you have a template, you already know your opening sentence. You know how to transition between your main points and how to conclude effectively. For example, let's say you're doing speaking task 1, which asks you to give advice to someone. Instead of panicking about how to begin, you can use a template sentence starter like, "If I were you, I would," or "the first thing I'd recommend is." These sentence starters immediately set up your response with confidence and clarity. You're not wasting time thinking about how to phrase your opening. You're focusing all your attention on the content of your advice. The best thing about templates is that you don't have to think about how to start your response. You can simply start speaking. You say the sentence starter and then you finish the sentence with your ideas. This approach saves you time, reduces your stress, and helps you sound more fluent and organized. When you use templates strategically across all 8 speaking tasks, you demonstrate to the examiner that you can organize ideas coherently and express them with sophistication. This is exactly what separates CLB 7 speakers from CLB 9 and 10 speakers. If you'd like to speak with the same confidence as high-scoring students, check out our CELPIP packages. You'll find all the templates and strategies you need to speak fluently and naturally. The link is just below this video. The third reason your score isn't improving is that you're practicing general speaking skills instead of practicing the specific CELPIP tasks. Many students spend time having casual conversations with friends or recording themselves talking about random topics. While this can help with general fluency, it doesn't prepare you for what you'll actually face in the CELPIP test. CELPIP Speaking has 8 distinct tasks, and each one tests different skills and requires different approaches. Task 1 asks you to give advice. Task 2 asks you to talk about a personal experience. Task 3 asks you to describe a scene in a picture, and so on. If you're not practicing these specific task types, you won't be ready when you see them in the actual test. You need to understand exactly what each task is asking you to do and practice responding appropriately. For example, Task 3 requires you to describe a scene in detail. This means you need to practice using descriptive vocabulary, spatial language, and present continuous tense to describe what people are doing in the picture. You need to organize your description logically, perhaps starting with the overall setting, then describing the foreground, middle ground, and background. You need to mention colors, emotions, actions, and relationships between people in the image. If you're just practicing casual conversation, you won't develop these specific skills. When practicing, set a timer for the exact preparation and response times that CELPIP provides. Record yourself answering the questions. Then listen to your recordings and evaluate them against the CELPIP scoring criteria. When you practice this way, you'll become familiar with the time pressure, the specific language requirements for each task, and the structure you need to follow. This targeted practice is what high-scoring candidates do, and it's the reason they perform confidently on test day. They've practiced task 1 so many times that giving advice feels automatic. They've practiced task 3 so many times that describing a picture becomes second nature. This kind of specific preparation is what makes the difference between CLB 7 and CLB 10. By the way, if you want this channel to keep going, write yes in the comments, click like and subscribe. We only make videos that you actually want to watch. The fourth reason your score isn't improving is that you're not focusing on the scoring criteria of the CELPIP speaking test. You might be recording yourself and listening back, but unless you know exactly what to listen for, you won't identify the mistakes that are holding your score down. Many test takers believe they sound fluent and natural, but they don't realize they're making grammar errors, using repetitive vocabulary, or organizing their ideas poorly. The CELPIP speaking test uses 4 scoring criteria: content and coherence, vocabulary, listenability, and task fulfillment. Let me explain each criterion more specifically. Content and coherence evaluates whether your response is relevant, complete, and logically organized. You must answer the question directly and connect your ideas smoothly with appropriate transitions. Further, you need to provide enough supporting details and examples. Many test takers lose points here because they go off topic or jump between ideas without clear connections. Vocabulary assesses your word choice, range, and precision. The examiners check whether you are using a variety of words to express your ideas. If you repeat the same basic words or use words incorrectly, your score will go down. Listenability evaluates your pronunciation, fluency, intonation, and pacing. You need to speak at a natural pace with appropriate rhythm so the examiner can understand you easily. You should also use stress and intonation to convey meaning. Speaking too quickly, hesitating too much, or speaking in a monotone voice will decrease your score. Task fulfillment checks whether you've addressed all parts of the task appropriately. You need to respond to every aspect of the question and speak for an appropriate length. Many test takers lose points here because they only partially answer the question or speak for too short a time. If you're practicing, try this approach. Record your response to a practice question. Then listen to the recording and check whether your response satisfies the scoring criteria. Let's move on to reason number 5. Your score isn't improving because of poor time management. CELPIP speaking tasks have strict time limits. You get a short preparation time and a fixed recording time. Many test takers struggle because they spend their preparation time nervously thinking about what to say, instead of using that time strategically. Then, when the recording starts, they either run out of things to say too quickly or they don't finish expressing their ideas before the time runs out. Both situations hurt your score significantly. High-scoring candidates use their preparation time efficiently. They quickly think of 2 or 3 key points they want to cover. For example, if task 1 asks you to give advice to someone moving to a new city, you might think of research neighborhoods, join community groups, and explore public transit. These 3 points give you a clear roadmap for your 90-second response. During the recording time, pace yourself carefully. Don't rush through your response in 30 seconds and then sit in awkward silence. Don't speak so slowly that you can't finish your ideas. You should aim to use the full recording time while maintaining natural speaking speed. This balance is crucial because speaking for only 40 seconds when you have 90 seconds available suggests you don't have enough ideas or vocabulary. For example, if you have 90 seconds to respond to task 1, which asks you to give advice, you should plan to spend about 15 seconds on your opening, about 60 seconds on your main advice with supporting details, and about 15 seconds on your conclusion. This pacing ensures that your response feels complete and well balanced. Your opening might be something like, "Congratulations on your move. I'd be happy to share some advice that will help you settle into your new city smoothly." Then you present 3 pieces of advice with specific details and examples. Finally, you conclude with encouragement like, "If you follow these suggestions, I'm confident you'll adjust quickly and really enjoy your new home." One practical way to improve your time management is to practice with a timer. Set a timer for the exact preparation time and recording time that CELPIP provides. Practice speaking for the full duration without stopping or restarting. This realistic practice will help you develop an internal sense of timing so that you can pace yourself naturally on test day. Finally, here's reason number 6. You're not demonstrating sufficient grammar range in your responses. Many test takers focus so much on fluency that they forget grammar is also extremely important. Using only simple sentence structures and basic grammar patterns limits your score, even if everything you say is correct. CELPIP examiners want to see that you can use a variety of complex grammar structures naturally and accurately. This doesn't mean you should force complicated grammar into every sentence. It means you need to show you're capable of more than just simple present tense and basic subject-verb-object sentences. High-scoring candidates naturally incorporate a range of grammar structures throughout their responses. For example, they use conditional sentences to discuss hypothetical situations. They use relative clauses to add descriptive details. They use passive voice when it's appropriate, and so on. This variety demonstrates grammatical competence that examiners reward. For instance, don't say, "If you move to a new city, you should join clubs." A better response is, "If I were moving to a new city, I would definitely join local clubs and community groups, which would help me meet like-minded people." This sentence demonstrates conditional structures, modal verbs for advice, and a relative clause for additional information. Here's another example. "I went to Paris last year. I visited the Eiffel Tower. It was beautiful." Here's the upgraded version. "Last year, I had the opportunity to visit Paris, where I saw the iconic Eiffel Tower, which was even more breathtaking than I had imagined." This version uses past perfect to show sequence, relative clauses to add detail, and comparative structures to express your impression. Practice using a variety of sentence structures. Don't start every sentence with the subject. Use adverbial phrases at the beginning of sentences sometimes, like "in my experience, from what I've observed," or "generally speaking." This structural variety makes your speaking more engaging and demonstrates sophisticated grammar knowledge. Remember that accuracy is just as important as range. It's better to use 5 complex structures correctly than to attempt 10 complex structures and make mistakes in half of them. High-scoring candidates use advanced grammar correctly and make it sound natural. So those are the 6 hidden reasons your CELPIP speaking score isn't improving. Remember that improving your CELPIP speaking score isn't about practicing more. It's about practicing smarter. Using these strategies can help you achieve the CLB score you need for your Canadian immigration goals. If you want comprehensive guidance with all templates, advanced vocabulary lists, and high-scoring sample responses, check out our CELPIP packages. We help CELPIP candidates achieve the CLB scores they need for their Canadian immigration goals. With the right preparation system, you can do the same. The link is just below this video. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you're notified when the next video comes out. Also, share this video with your friends so they can improve their CELPIP score too. See you in the next video!